All right. The draft. I'm not confident about this one, but we'll see what happens. Not worried about the futures game. The 2027 entry draft. We have the 7th overall pick. Obviously, Sergio Samuel is not going to be the 7th overall pick. Honestly, I don't think any of these second basemen should be... It's like a itchy nose and I hate it. I don't think any of these second basemen should be the 7th overall pick. That would be wishful thinking. It'd be wishful thinking, and we'd probably be looking at Harry Daly and hoping for the best, but he looks like a B at best. Third base, not sold. Not sold, unfortunately. Shortstops. I mean, Roosevelt Leggett was looking like the strongest, but still, that's quite the potential range and quite the overall range for a position we don't technically need. In left, Kevin Simmons is definitely on our queue. We are definitely looking at Kevin Simmons. Apparently, our scouts have identified Mitch Summers as the 8th best prospect in the draft, which is a bit surprising. And they've also identified Jim Perez and Johnny Fulton as rightful first rounders, even though I don't like how they look. And then in right, Forrest Adams. Not sold. Starting pitchers, I mean, if Darren Hope falls to us at 7, we go for it. Ford Span could be worth it. I mean, all of these relievers, or excuse me, starters, including Mr. Shartner, could all be worth a shout. Relievers, Darnell Combs. Razor, really? Did you have to bring it there? Darnell Combs, #1 projected pick. Obviously, I don't think we'd take him 7th overall, but damn. Like, if we wanted a slam dunk reliever, I mean, especially with that bonus demand, I might have to consider it. And then the one closer, Christopher Dell. Jesus, he looks amazing. So we do have options. It's just a matter of who on this list is going to be gone by the time we get to the 7th overall pick. We go to the drafts. The #1 selection belongs to the Washington Nationals. They've had multiple high picks. They've basically been a high pick every single year since we've started this. They still haven't turned it around. And the Nationals, with that pick, select Darren Hope, #1 overall. Well, at least our pun intended hopes and dreams of getting Darren Hope at 7 are immediately out the door. So I think they made the right choice. Based off of what our scouts are telling us, they made the right choice. They made the right choice. 2nd overall is shockingly the Seattle Mariners. And Seattle at 2 takes another player that we were interested in, starting pitcher Ford Span. All right. And 3rd overall, to round out the big 3, who's it going to be? Going to the Kansas City Royals, we have sorry, I just that was my soul leaving my body in pure disappointment. Fuck. Normally, as we've seen, first draft with no long shots, I think so. Normally, as we've seen, the high-end relievers fall to the start of the second round. But Kansas City recognized what our scouts recognized. That is the guy that you take in the first round. And Kansas City did. They take the reliever Darnell Combs, 3rd overall. Fuck. Pittsburgh at 4. Who's it going to be? No long shots in the draft yet. Pittsburgh takes Jim Perez, the center fielder. I wasn't overly sold on him, so it's kind of nice to have him eliminated as an option, even though he was an option. Milwaukee takes third baseman Jimmy Colligan, who again, our scouts were not sold on. And the White Sox at 6 take starting pitcher Ivan Ojeda. So that leaves us with quite a few options. Leaves us with one closer, Christopher Dell, who looks really good. He does. There's a whole bunch of starters. Earl Littleton, Bobby Shartner. Honestly, I'd probably look at Shartner over Littleton. There's Dennis Ryder, Stuart Clayton, Ricky Dunlap, a bunch of starters, but then there's these 3 outfielders, and that's the position that we need the most. Johnny Fulton, 18 years old, 72-92 as far as we know. Mitch Summers, 74-92. But then there's Kevin Simmons, and he's our guy. He is our guy. We need a left fielder. Our scouts identified Simmons as a top 5 prospect, and we can get him at 7. Summers was projected 8th. Dunlap 10th. Dell was projected 9th. Just to get you guys a look at what we're looking at here for Simmons. Not projected to be the fastest. He is projected to be a power-hitting lefty. And, well, we love power-hitting left fielders in Boston. Kevin Simmons is the guy. There's no doubt about it. We are taking him 7th overall. Let's hope. Let's hope our scouts are right. Let's hope. But he's our guy. The question is, who falls to us with that 43rd pick? If anybody. We're still waiting for the first big reach. I mean, technically Perez and Colligan were. Vincent Ahn, starting pitcher, 51st projected, and Oakland takes him 8th. Bold strategy, Cotton. First baseman Sergio Samuel goes 9th to the Yankees. He was projected 23rd, but was the highest projected first baseman. Left fielder Charles Burton, who our scouts hated, goes 10th to Toronto. Why are you taking a left fielder? You already have one. Stuart Clayton, starting pitcher, goes to St. Louis. A is going to A. Well, with the exception of the one guy they got that we wanted. Colorado takes center fielder Greg Yang. I'm intrigued to see how good he is because I wasn't sold. Angels at 13 take Eduardo Brito, second baseman. Looks like he could be decent. Arizona at 14 take Ricky Dunlap, one of our short list starting pitchers. Again, our scouts liked them a lot. So did Arizona's. San Fran at 15, Manny Diaz. Again, our scouts had him outside the first round, but he was someone that we were looking at. San Diego at 16 takes Harper Davis. That's a reach. Projected 86th. He goes 16th to the Padres, the starting pitcher. The Tigers take Johnny Fulton. I didn't expect him really to drop, but it would have been nice. Projected 22nd. Our scouts liked them a little bit better than that. Shortstop Roosevelt Leggett goes to Chicago. Again, our nice potential, but our scouts did not like him as a first rounder. And there goes second baseman Harry Daly. Projected 9th. Goes to the Twins at 19th. Did they get a steal or did they make... As Victor Trevino was off the board, shortstop to the Mets. Cincinnati takes the other center fielder, Mitch Summers. Cincinnati will be the team for us to check. Did we make a mistake going for Simmons over Summers? I doubt it, but it could have happened. Eric Noseworthy, the center fielder, goes to Philadelphia. Our scouts really did not like him. Baltimore at 23 takes third baseman Alonzo Hansen. He was projected 11th. Again, our scouts didn't like him. If our scouts are right, this is going to be a terrible draft. Terrible. Houston takes starting pitcher Earl Littleton. Pretty much where he was expected to go. It's Atlanta at 25, and the Braves take Phil Spanos, second baseman. High projection. Again, our scouts didn't like him. Cleveland at 26. Bobby Shartner. Bobby Shartner off the board. Goes to Cleveland. Tampa at 27. Dennis Ryder. Another starting pitcher we were looking at. The Dodgers at 28 take right fielder Forrest Adams, who we were looking at, but certainly weren't going to take 7th overall. The runners-up, the Texas Rangers take starting pitcher Jeremy Howard. Not too far off the board. And the world champion Marlins, which is something that happened last night. The world champion Marlins took Ivan Da Silva, starting pitcher. So, nothing too crazy there. Christopher Dell is the only guy left on the board that we wanted. I doubt he's there for too much longer, as De Los Santos, the reliever, goes to Seattle. Another reliever, Alfonso Flores, goes to Tampa. He's not, and again, this is where, relievers normally fall. That guy going third was brutal. Dell's going to go, yep, there it is. He goes to Milwaukee. So again, I really wanted Dell or Combs, but to end up with Kevin Simmons isn't bad. So I don't want to say we're in the dark from here on out, but we kind of are. 43rd pick. As again, a lot of the relievers went off the board in the competitive balance round. Antoine Ruiz really went kind of early there. Who do we even have available at this point is the question. Nobody left that we scouted. So we're going in blind from this point. We're fucking going in blind at this stage. Oh boy. Second round and we're already at this point. Okay. Well, I got 3 minutes to sort this out. Again, in terms of catchers, we could certainly go best guess. Oh man. Oh man. If I were to take a catcher, Anthony Ono would probably be my number one target. Probably. Second base was another position of need. Vernon Nava, we could just hope. He's 23, though. There's also Miguel Oliveros, who we didn't get a chance to scout. Third base, we were looking for a potential insurance option. Kurt Nappick. Kurt Nappick. Rockies just took the 60th ranked guy first in my draft. Damn. That can happen. We also got Martin Avilos, who I don't really like. There is Jack Bingham. We got 2.5 minutes. Carlos Chavez. Diego Rodriguez. All guys I wish that I had time to scout, but we didn't. And then the outfield, obviously, because shortstop's not a huge need. There is Martin Acevedo. Could be worth the risk. Jeff Rossignol. Sure. Homer Rubio. Center field. Emil Cortez. A couple of guys up to a 95 potential, but Jesus. The floors aren't that great. Yusnel Padilla. Could be worth the shout. And then in right, Billy McLeod. Right. Starting pitchers, Geraldo Mata. You got Marcos Villalobos, who could be worth the risk. Richard Womack. Jim Lara. Romeo Hunt. Lonnie Purcell. Anybody else who's overly worth it? Rafael Reyes. Right now, I'm just trying to get a short list. Got Marcel Ellis, because again, we are going in blind for the rest of this draft. It's just how it worked out. For relievers, Robert Payne, Pedro Villa, John Vera. There are still quite a few relievers left who are worth a shout. Honestly, it's most of them. So we'll avoid relievers. We do need a top catcher. I don't know if Ono is going to be that for where he was projected to go. We do need a top second baseman. I'm not sold. We need an insurance third baseman, but I don't think we can take one that highly. Acevedo was projected in the 50s. Mata was projected in the 40s. I think it is Acevedo. This is right around where he was projected to go, and we got to hope for the best. We need outfielders. We did already take a left fielder, but there's nothing wrong with taking another one. Let's go for Mario Acevedo. Again, we're going in blind. We just don't know. But he's the guy for us here in round 2. Third round. We do still have quite a few players on the board. Quite a few players left. I do want to look at relievers because there is a chance that a lot of relievers were just taken in that last round. And that appears to be the case. That does appear to be the case. Okay. So really quickly. Vaccaro, 78th. Reyes in the 80s. So it's either... Oops. Okay, Ono was projected to go later. So Jack Bingham. Jeff Rossinoy. Rafael Reyes. Or reliever Antonio Vaccaro. It's one of these 4. We've already taken 2 outfielders in this draft. We got Bingham at third base, which would be an insurance pick. Or we go with the starter or reliever. Again, starters, we're looking a little bit better. I'm going to go with Antonio Vaccaro. I think. Again, Bingham, we don't need a third baseman as much. Huge need for the outfield. Insurance third baseman. Could use a top second baseman, which we're not going to find. Could use a top catcher, which we're not going to find. So we got to kind of go for that general need of pitching. Let's go for Antonio Vaccaro. Hope for the best, since we didn't get one of those top relievers earlier. Round 4. All those guys we were looking at are gone. So top projected left is 108 of Pedro Mitre. Stokes is up there as well at around 117. All right, it's going to be one of these two. It's either Roderick Stokes or Pedro Mitre. And again, we've struggled to get good relievers. Let's go for Pedro here. We'll take 2 back-to-back relievers. Round 5. 1 dude left. Unless that list is glitched. I don't know if it is. I'm kind of afraid that the list is glitched. Let me hit view prospects. I feel like that list is going to be a little bit glitched. So in terms...
Oh, good!
In terms of Major League ranking, shout out to Saint-Etienne for the follow, by the way. Appreciate you. All right, so maybe it's not glitched because Ono's still there. We're at pick 141. People are shouting out Chavez. I mean, I can see why. Inamasa's 150, 143, 172. There's a few players now on the list that we can do this. 189 for Rubio. I got to go through this fast because, again, we have the timer. We're having to go off of projected draft rank because there's, I mean, again, we're late in the draft and there's not much else we can do. Now, Chavez was projected 176. So the highest projected player left that we would need in a position of need is Anthony Ono. And honestly, I think we risk it to hope that Chavez is available a little bit later on. Especially because he's 21. Let's go for Anthony Ono. And that brings us to the final pick, and Chavez is still there. I mean, we have one more outfielder in Homer Rubio. Shout out to Homo Rubio. Shout out to Homo Rubio. Why not? There we go. That's a slip up now, isn't it? We're leaving it in. We're leaving it in. It's happening. What other Yoko Ono jokes can we make? Who knows? We have Diego Rodriguez, Carlos Chavez, and then Miguel Oliveros. I think we can rule old Homer out. Second base, third base. They're both kind of a need. 21 for Oliveros, 21 for Chavez. They're all 21. 80 to 99, 80 to 99, 77 to 76 for Oliveros. Oh, God. Lefty, lefty, righty. I mean, people were shouting out Chavez. Honestly, I don't think it matters. Let's go for Chavez. Why not? Why not? We'll give chat what they want. I have no optimism in this draft outside of the first round. I have no optimism in it. Home run derby. Participants at Chase Field in Arizona, Yordan Alvarez currently leading the majors in home runs. Shout out to Jake Fraley, who's up there as well. That was a very tough draft because, again, so many of the guys we were looking at went off the board early. They did. The All-Star. The All-Star. Kaniak, decent luck. Yes, I don't know if this would be one of them. As Duran is on his way to the Cardinals for a package of veterans, Jordan Romano, Scott Kingery, and Quincy McAfee. So, interesting option there for the Twins. The American League All-Stars. Shane McClanahan is the starter. Shout out to Lawrence Hanson's hair. Making it for Texas. Ooh, in his rookie season, Andreas Lawrence. We'll see if he's the only Red Sox to make it, but Lawrence is currently an All-Star. Is he the only one? Shout out to Alex Verdugo in the All-Star game for the Tigers. Gunnar Henderson for Chicago, which is weird. Was he our... he was our only nominee. Damn it. Well, hey, it's still nice to have seen him made it. Logan Webb is the NL starter. And we'll go through that. So, here we go. The first day to sign picks. And again, we're not going to know how good these guys are. We're really not going to know how good these guys are. Kevin Simmons stays in that number one spot to build up as much interest as possible. And from there, we'll prioritize the higher draft picks. Let's start with Acevedo and Vaccaro. This is going to be a really weird draft for us. The Guardians offer us right fielder Chase DeLauter, 25B and an 80. And reliever. Wow. I mean, again, don't get me wrong. Corey Lee is awesome. He's only 28. But we get a reliever. We don't have any contract control over him. But Hentage is a solid. The key piece here is Chase DeLauter, who's just 25. But he's not a starter for them, I'm guessing, behind Valera, Straw, and Corbin Carroll. Again, I like Corey Lee a lot, but is it worth holding on to him knowing we don't have contract control? We do have contract control on Austin Wells. We have 3 arbitration years for DeLauder as well. DeLauder? I'm going to go with DeLauder, though. We got to do that. We got to do that again. Corey Lee is not bad, but we're going to have to pay them. We're going to have to pay him the sun and the moon after next season. We are. And this season, he's only played in 6 games, apparently. That's a done deal. Thank you very much, Cleveland. Will Lee still be good when you're not shit? Probably, but tough to say for sure. We do have to cut somebody off of our 40-man. It's going to be Jacob Webb. And then we do have to send somebody down. Honestly, I mean, Genesis Cabrera, elite name. We're going to release him. Given that he was a Rule 5 pick. Easiest thing to do. All right, what are we looking at draft pick-wise? All right, Acevedo so far is passing the potential test. We're going to leave he and Vaccaro both there. This is going to be weird for us. It's going to be very weird for us. Keep building up that interest on Simmons. Acevedo looks like he could be really good. And his interest, we know we're going to sign Acevedo. So then it's Vaccaro and our round 4 pick, Pedro Mitra, that we want to look at a little bit more. We still got a little bit of time here as we continue to lose the majority of games. Vaccaro's slipping a little bit. He might still be worth it. Mitra as well. Let's keep looking at him. We do have Vaccaro over 50%, though. I'm going to take him out for the moment. Let's start getting a look at Anthony Ono. All right, no other trades for us yet either. 81% interest now from Simmons. Mitra's looking okay. We still don't really know enough about Ono. And they're both at 25%. Tampa kicks the crap out of us. I mean, low scouting percentages, but neither of these guys look all that bad. Keep them there. Keep the focus on our 7th overall pick. We cannot lose Simmons. We cannot lose him. And honestly, both Mitra and Ono are looking decent, and we'll probably keep them. If they're, we'll offer them at the very least. Let's get a look at Carlos Chavez. Again, I'm boosting up his interest as high as it can go. I am making sure that he signs. Absolutely. And honestly, I'm going to start investing in Mario Acevedo as well. Yet again. The Angels offer a shortstop, Jeremiah Jackson, for Nick York. That is a no. Nick York is younger. Natural second baseman. Nick York for a friend of the channel, Cole Irvin. That's also not going to happen. And it looks like we go through the deadline. So here we go. Big moment. Big moment. 90% interest, Kevin Simmons. We can get him up to 95%. I'm going to offer him appropriate value at 94%. I'm not really worried about saving money. Kevin?
Emotional damage.